Okay. Um, Welcome, everybody. This is the August Transportation Parks and Public Spaces Committee for ANC 1B. We took last month off, so we've had a little break. So welcome back. Eagle-eyed observers will notice that my background is different. My office is in a new room, so I'm very excited about that. And great. So I'm going to share the agenda and then I'll take the roll. Okay. So, I got a couple emails with some questions and things like that. And then there's some projects like the 11th Street bike lane, that we can talk about. So I've just kind of grouped that under like general announcements and updates. So there'll be a couple bullet points we can discuss. Then this one could have rolled into general announcements as well, but like an update on the U Street Metro canopy construction for the eastern metro entrance. Some residents asked about that, so I got an update from WMATA. I actually invited them to come to the meeting, WMATA, but they did not accept. So, and then finally, we'll have a discussion on a public trash can resolution that we talked about in the spring, and we're bringing it back to maybe consider pushing forward to the ANC. Great. So, Julius said he would not be here. Ben, I see that you are here.
Yeah, present. Hello.
Yep. Hello. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. It's easier to do roll without sharing my screen. Zoe,
Present.
Karen,
Present.
Dion is not here. Nick said he could not be here. Angela, here. Guneeve,
Here.
Johnny, no Johnny yet. Mickey said he would be out. Brad,
Here.
here. Nicole
Here.
is here. No Laura tonight, and then Jay.
I am here.
Okay, great. Uh, Thanks for being here, guys. So, um, the agenda is very simple. I'll just move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
I.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Great. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Great. Agenda. Okay, so I have a little list of announcements. I cut my finger the other day, so my typing is going to be even worse than normal. So if you see like my hand looks weird, that's why. So the first item, so last year, I think earlier in the year, last year and earlier in the year, we talked about the 11th Street bike lane a lot. DDOT came and presented. We sent them a good resolution, I believe. An update about that is so the more southerly segments, like south of ANC 1B, have been under construction and they're building like the floating bus islands and stuff like that. But construction has moved into ANC 1B. And they aren't building the bike lane yet, but they are digging up 11th Street, kind of north of U Street, within the last week or so to remove the trolley tracks. So this was a thing that we recommended in our resolution, and people have seen that over years and decades, the trolley tracks have really contributed to the road degrading at a faster rate. And originally, DDOT wasn't sure if they would have the budget to do that as part of this project, but they somehow figured it out and are removing the trolley tracks. So that should make it much better in the future, the health of the road, and then like the smoothness and everything like that. So I thought that was really great. So they're doing that nowish. So after they do that, which is more significant construction than just like painting, um, they would move on to repaving the road and then eventually paving. So I don't know exactly the timeline for all of that, but it was an update that I got last week or so that I thought was pretty good. Oh, my notes app is open and listening to me, and it's recording everything I'm saying. I hate the world. The world is so hard now. That was just supposed to be my note. I opened my notes so I could see what my list of things was, and then it recorded literally everything I said. What is happening? Um, okay. So that happened. Similarly, I'm gonna pull up this email from Chris Berg from DDOT, who was the lead on the 11th Street Bike project. Um, I'm gonna see if I can post this picture in the chat. He is the lead for the strategic bikeways plan, and he sent out an update the other day. So I think this is kind of just like if people can see that in the chat, hopefully, and then let me share my screen. Um, let's see. It's blurry now, but basically, um, they've gotten over like 3,000 pin comments, and they've going through those and all the resolutions and all the engagement they've been doing, public surveys and things like that. Um, uh, they're going to do additional stakeholder engagement this fall, including district-wide public meetings and virtual open houses. So I kind of anticipate that, and that's paired with like a draft of the plan that they're developing, kind of wrapping up now and would be sharing in the fall. So potentially in one of our fall meetings, we would have the draft plan and be able to discuss that, and offer any final recommendations that the ANC would have on the strategic bikeways plan. And then they would adopt it early next year. So probably one more meeting on that. We'll see if we did one last winter, with a bunch of recommendations on general policies and then also a lot of like specific spot recommendations. So I think what we'll do probably when they release it is, if I see it's released, I'll share the link and things like that. And then we can see what recommendations of ours made it in, maybe which ones are missing, and think about what we would want to offer for like an additional resolution. Any questions on that?
I got a question in regards to all of the past things that we've done in regards to DDOT, and I
Hmm.
know that we passed and we did our resolutions. That status update is wonderful, but all of the other resolutions that we've done through the ANC, do you have a status update on everything as of today? Because we've done so many things, and I really don't want them to go in the dustbin and council hasn't seen them or anything.
Um, so that's something I could do it's a good idea, Karen, and I think at a next, maybe in September, uh, I could prepare that. So on most, well, I'll need to double check because on most of our resolutions, I think they have provided a written response. Now, there could be some more recent ones where they haven't provided a written response. And maybe what I can do is surface those written responses and share with the group. And then in maybe September, we'll have it as a agenda item to kind of like see the status of that. And if they're like, I don't have a good example right now, but if they like said no to something or they said they're going to study it more and didn't look into it yet, maybe we consider whether we want to follow up with them again, resurface it at a future meeting. But yeah, I think maybe we could do a little.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
reasoning behind that is because there was we worked on a bus location change, etc. And there's some community members who have like different questions about movements of different bus stops, etc.
Mhm.
And there was one such bus stop that we had worked on and back. It's been a while ago, and that affected a lot of the veterans in the community because the bus stop was near
At
one
the
of the VA
hospital.
hospital,
Yeah.
and it was moved. I mean, it literally was moved a mile away almost from the
Mhm.
VA hospital. And so a lot of the residents that at that VA hospital were not able to have the bus stop that was initially placed in front of the VA hospital, the use of it any longer. And I've been getting since I do a lot of advocacy for veterans, getting a lot of information about that. And I was just wondering what's going on because I know whenever we do stuff, it goes up to council. And, I don't know. Have you guys been doing any follow up? So that's the only thing that I'm really interested in for now. But then again, we did the ADA thing, and I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, so we did all of our part. So what are they doing? So those are my
Yeah.
questions, and I really want to know the status. And if we're working on any of our things with bike lanes, bus lanes, all that stuff, I want to make sure that the weight that the ANC has is really being effective. That's my main concern. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that it's a good idea. Maybe we make it kind of like a rule that not a rule, but like on an annual basis, we try to like dedicate time at a meeting to check on follow-ups, just so there's like a recurring report on what the agencies have said in response to our resolutions. That's something we could kind of like do in the spring or fall or something, depending. So maybe it's September we can start that and then pick it back up occasionally because it wouldn't be something we would do every meeting, but it's something that we should
Yeah.
do on an ongoing basis.
Yes, I think that would be great because it really makes everything that we do, everybody can really see the effectiveness of what we're doing.
Yep, good idea. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's that one. So September, anticipate that, and then a later in the fall, a meeting about the strategic bikeways plan update. Similarly, I don't really have an update on bus priority, but I do want to um, kind of check in on bus priority because we like had a meeting last fall, I think, about the U Street Bus Priority Project, and it's kind of been silent. So I'm gonna check in with them and see like what's going on. Um, oh, the last little update in this section is, has anyone seen the new robots going around?
The
Uh,
sidewalk ones?
yes.
Yes.
So I saw one today, and then it was last week. The I don't know, someone from it's called Serve Robotics. Somebody from Serve reached out and said that they would want to potentially present at an ANC meeting just to like, I think in their perspective, demystify the robots, but I thought maybe this group would have a lot of questions for them. So I did invite them. I was hoping they would be able to come to this meeting, but they couldn't. But they said September or October. So if people would be interested in someone from the robot company explaining how they work and where they're allowed to go and all that kind of stuff, whatever questions people might have, I could try to schedule that. So
Yeah,
look
I
out for
think
it.
it could be an interesting presentation. I think I do not already know how this company is dealing with it. I would be interested to hear about their internal protocols on how they're going to be sure not to obstruct public space, and make sure that, all sidewalks are ADA accessible, and also what sensors they're using and basically what publicly visible data is being collected, how that's being stored, and kind of what the like data of just people walking around is being like recorded by this private company.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I think that's the exact type thing that I would want us to ask them. Whether they want us to ask them that, I don't really care. But like keep that in mind. They will probably come to a meeting in fall. So like prepare questions ahead of time. Let's make sure we have stuff ready to go. That's great. Okay, so those are my little updates. Oh, Jay did send me an email and I never responded to it, but I did think about it, Jay. And I just wanted to say, so you were asking, Jay asked, this is kind of a good update too, I think. Jay asked about, one of the things Jay asked about was, the tree boxes, and some tree boxes are just dirt, and some tree boxes are beautiful gardens that someone is maintaining and put like a metal fence around. And then some of those look really good, but then some of them, it's clear that they put the metal fence in 1985 and no one's touched it since then, and it looks horrible and is mangled. Um, Those are typically all put in either by residents or like community, like civic associations type groups. So when they become kind of deteriorated or bad, it's kind of a pickle, like because the city doesn't maintain them. So it can be kind of, I think, hard to do something about them. Karen might have a suggestion, I think, on that, but I've wondered like, because it's not like a thing the city does.
I can give some insight on
Yep.
it. And as you mentioned, generally the responsibility is for the neighborhood to maintain those boxes. Now, the tree boxes, in some cases, are becoming rodent infested, especially if they're around a establishment that is like a restaurant. Like yesterday, we took the Department of Health and DPW. We were out treating some of those boxes. So if you guys happen to know of any of those that are rodent infested, please send that information to me so that I can have our team go out and work with them because we're doing blitzes on U Street and we just did T Street, so that's in the 1B area. So we're still doing U Street. But in regards to that, they become mangled, and sometimes people do not replace them, and it's a one off. So we do need to really tackle that. I think that as the ANC can pitch in if they have funding that they want to invest in that. That could be part of the community engagement, but I do know that's under your committee. So I guess if you send a letter to the community engagement committee, they can, invest in that along with a lot of the civic associations, any 501 foundations, they can sort of help spearhead that. I can give you a list of people who may be interested in that as well. Thank you, and thank you, Jay. Hey, Jay.
Great. Thanks, Karen. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I could try to share my screen, or I can just put a link in the chat for the um Google Street View of what I was
Hmm.
talking about. This is on Sherman Avenue.
Okay.
Um yeah, I just put a link in the chat. And this is
This one here.
yeah, yeah, that one. And this is from I I don't recall just how recent this Street View is, but um
Last August, so a year ago.
yeah, so it's even worse now.
Hmm.
And it's, clearly it's been hit by drivers going off the street, and um you can't really tell from the graffitied fence at the top there, but this is behind the elementary school.
Hmm.
So this is that's DGS property
Right.
behind the wall. And as I'm sure anybody who has tried to uh, ask for cleanup of the window glass that is frequently on Florida Avenue below Cardozo has found out, you know, getting DGS to do anything on the sidewalks on the backside of their properties is difficult. So this is one that I was actually attempting to put into 311 because I had always assumed these were, public city things that the city would need to uh, replace or repair,
Hmm.
because it's obviously in public space, and couldn't find the category to deal with it, and so that's where the question came up.
Yeah, this is an interesting location because it's like on like the right of way is by a public property as opposed to like on someone's house. And it's interesting because if you go across the street, there's matching ones. So it's like, was this done by the other side is Howard. So like, did Howard?
Those were city install. Those
These were
city
city install.
the ones that look identical like that, those are city
Hmm.
installs. However, they did not maintain them. It was a
Right.
specific little program that we did it. I mean, and it was done, and they have not carried it out or budget for it. But guess what I can do? I can add that to the list, but because we're changing administrations, you may or may not get the immediate buy-in, but I can push it as much as I can.
Add it to what list?
I have a long laundry list of different things that I sort of
Advocate.
advocate for.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the
So
nicest
you
word
know
I can
Karen's got a
say.
list.
Karen, you're an advocate. You can use that word.
Look, I try. That's the nice way to do
Great.
it, but that's the laundry list. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if, yeah, I'll do some research on it too. Like if you, Karen, add it to your list and then maybe because it's like maybe they look nice once upon a time, but if they're not being maintained and they're just becoming like trip hazards, they should be removed.
Yeah, and there I know the ones on Columbia Road over in like Western Adams Morgan are definitely a trip hazard because I have personally tripped over them. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, that one in particular could be problematic if somebody were to fall on that.
Right. And it's kind of the sidewalk's not super narrow, but it's not super wide there either. So if it got more
Yeah.
mangled, it would be blocking the sidewalk.
And you
Um,
know what, Jay? I really appreciate that. So that will advance my empathy button a little bit more. Thank you.
okay, cool. Thanks for bringing that one up, Jay.
Just to add on that, do you guys know who Kathy Sykes is?
Mm,
Um, she's like a woman who's like planted flowers and native plants in like tree boxes and medians and other like small little orphan spaces all up and down Connecticut Avenue in Van Ness. Like we're on the same like naturalist listservs. I can like email her and ask her like how those are maintained and what she has done to be able to like what she probably
yeah,
would know the tree box law better than anyone.
that's
Basically.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like if she could share her experience over there, we could apply potentially some of the same stuff to our kind of like neglected corners or corridors that maybe are having the same issues.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's great. Yeah, okay, great. Uh, does anyone have any other general announcements we could add to this fun new section I've created?
I think I had uh one or two other similar like maintenance queries
Hmm.
that I also mentioned. One of which this is another street view. This is Clifton Street in the 1300 block. And this was just one I got a question from a resident um, that, there's a deaf child sign on the street there.
Yep.
And uh, her point was that the sign has been there for a very long time. As she put it, that child is quite possibly a grandparent by now. And so, I know there's a couple others on T Street in the like 1400 block that a few years ago I had reported because like one of the signs, the post was failing and it was like falling at a weird angle.
Yep.
And so the question was just like for DDOT, do they check ever that, you know, the person that this was for, are they still there? Do they, is the sign still needed or is it just, you know, clutter? And, the idea is that, there's a person on this block who will not be able to hear your car coming. It's like, there's probably other better ways to get drivers to slow down and pay attention to the world around them. Um,
So, I don't know what DDOT's policy is, but I work. in Arlington on tangential issues, and I know that based off of that experience, I can 100% guarantee that DDOT is not doing anything proactive about this. And what we've actually done in Arlington is because of the same issue that you're describing, where maybe the sign was requested 20 years ago when there was a deaf child on the block, and now there's not really an easy way to follow up and see if that person still lives there on a consistent basis or whatever, and whether it's still a relevant sign. Arlington is moving away from having disability specific signs like this and just like on neighborhood roads or at intersections, like doing other types of treatments that would like help slow down traffic and make it safe for all users without singling out like a specific disability type. So that's what like Arlington is trying to do. There's different types of warning signs you can use. I don't know what DDOT's policy is on this. I think it's something that you could file a 311 request about it, or anyone could, to be like, oh, ask about a specific sign or something like that. We could try to find out if they have a policy on it, but
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing.
and I'm sure speed humps would be worthwhile to add to this block if the idea is that people need to slow down and pay attention on the street.
Yep.
And the last question I had was kind of more similar to the first one, and it's not really visible on the street view, but there's one of those, the historical walking tour signs just down the block there. That the base of the sign is very worn. Like the paint is all worn off and like
Hmm.
it's down to the gray metal. And so there was a similar question of like who is responsible to maintain those and make sure they're in decent shape, and is there a way to request that uh the city or whoever, you know, maintain their signs in the public space?
Is this like one of the walking tour signs, like this one here, or
It
the
Yeah, like that one.
Yeah, it's
similar
on 14th and Clifton.
14th and
Yeah.
Clifton?
Yeah, this one is like Clifton, kind of in the middle of a block. I tried to pull it up on Street View and it's behind a parked car.
Okay, but we can pretend this. Imagine if this one was in
Yeah.
the similar condition, like this one, at least from this street view from last year, it's like, oh well, it looks in pretty good condition, but the other one's in bad condition. So I think these specific ones were put up by like Cultural DC or some group like that, which may or may not still exist. So that was like kind of an issue. And I think there was a there was a time I remember conversations about this from a couple years ago with some similar signs where it was like unclear who technically owned them, or who would like be able to reproduce them. Um,
The Thurgood Marshall building, they had did a project in relation to the touring of the area,
mhm.
and that group still exists inside of the Thurgood Marshall building,
Okay.
and so, I mean, I do know a couple of the principals there. I can ask them if that's a project that they're still they had funding at that time.
Okay.
So, I mean, that would be one, but they're never supposed to be. The African American Civil War Museum is supposed to be picking up a project that's similar to that, but I still have not seen
Yeah.
the final outcome of that particular project. So, and I guess just so that there wouldn't be any overlap, I don't know if they were going to just repurpose those signs, but again, everything is still moving forward with what they're doing for their whole rollout. So, I don't know the answer fully, but those are the locations. Those two locations are where
Yeah.
I would start if I were you.
So I think that's good, Karen. I did also just quickly Google it. I didn't know this before, but I think Cultural DC is
Mhm.
part of Events DC now. There is a
Yes.
page for DC Neighborhood Heritage Trails on Events DC's website. So honestly, I think like if there are, I'm trying to
That's
put it in
the
the
that's the
chat.
organization that funded the project the last time, and they
Okay,
did a
so
walking. They had walking tours and
yeah,
all that good stuff.
Yeah,
so
and that's the name that's on the sign. But as you know, Matthew said, I wasn't sure that if they still exist or where they are and how to report that this sign base needs.
I think it's worth reaching out to them since they promote the Heritage Trail on their website and the signs, and hopefully if like they're not the ones who are supposed to go and like paint it or make sure the sign is legible, maybe they could point us in the right direction. The problem is these signs, even though they're on the sidewalk and in a location where DDOT would like normally like maintain signs, they're not roadway signs, right? So it's like a sign that's in their right of way that isn't a traffic sign. So typically they don't maintain those DDOT, but maybe Events DC either does or knows. So like if you send me the, I think you emailed me that. I can if you want to reach out to them, you can reach out to them, but I can also be like, hey, Events DC, I'm a commissioner wondering about this. Can you point me in the right direction?
You speaking to me or Jay?
Oh, whoever. I think Jay,
Okay,
but
I
Karen, you can too.
Jay, if you need any if you need any contacts, I'll help you with that if that's what you prefer.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I do have a photo of it on my phone that I can either share with you or Matt, or
Hmm.
I can include on sending to them, whichever.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I'll be happy. You know, I'll happily help. And Matt, I have two things that I wanted to bring forward if you're open to it right now.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay. The first thing was in regards to DDOT. They have their paved DC program, right? And you know that one of the main things that and they have a tendency to close tickets, the 311 tickets.
Mm.
I know for a fact that I saw 59 tickets that was issued not by Karen, just so we make that clear. It was at a higher level than I, and they closed 30 of them with
No
really
note
no
or anything.
check-ins on those tickets.
Yeah.
And knowing that they did that, and of course, um, my concern is they close out tickets without really doing things, but saying that they're going to transfer it to the paved DC process.
Yeah.
So, under the inquiry of the ANC, my suggestion is a high suggestion that every single area or ticket that's been closed that has to deal with the sidewalk pavement, the paving, because our sidewalks are incredible in a negative sense, where we have a lot of bricks and divots and rat
Yeah.
holes, etc. And we need to have them do one, find out one, what have they done? When is the paved work going to happen on these sidewalks, especially U Street from the 600 block of U Street, I mean Florida Avenue, all the way down to the 1600 block that's still in within the 1B jurisdiction.
Mhm.
We need to find out what are they doing, and then all up 14th Street, all of the main corridors, what are they doing for our sidewalks? Because our sidewalks from LeDroit Park all the way down are not in the best conditions. They've been telling us that they're going to do some work under their paved DC program, but they
Mhm.
have not done the sidewalk work that we've been expecting. And I know you've been on a commission for a while, so I really want to see exactly what they've done and what's the timeline of when they're going to accomplish that work. So that was the paved DC slash D dot first question.
Okay.
I'll move into my second one when you're ready.
Mm. Some of that, if we get someone to come back and talk about bus priority, I know there's going to be some sidewalk work with the U Street bus priority, so maybe they would have some answers with that too. But yeah, I think we'll,
I don't want it to get lumped in
yeah,
and ignored because it's a critical infrastructure issue that needs to be addressed. And I know in some cases they say they wanted to extend the sidewalks. That's understandable. and that would accomplish a lot of things, including with the tree boxing issues.
Right.
However, I definitely want to make sure that we see that they've done some work on that. And the secondary question, I mean, part is a resolution that I know that falls within the public space realm. Um, I'm reading what Jay has placed in the chat. I apologize.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean
Okay,
to distract you.
you did, but I know you didn't intentionally. Okay, the second part is the now I brought this forward to our council members, but I brought it forward in some side ANC slash Ward 1 meetings. But I have made the suggestion, because this is a public safety issue, but also it's on public space. I think that we often have people talk about our young people who are gathering in our public spaces, and they're always looking for a place to charge their cell phones. We want to keep our young people, as well as all of our neighbors in the area, satisfied with their safety in regards to their cell phone usage and cell phone charging. In our airports, we have various little charging stations in our libraries, etc. And so my suggestion was to find a space, different spaces throughout the ANC, in which we can have charging stations so people can charge their cell phones, laptops, whatever, so they don't have to go on people's porches and or in restaurants or wherever they're not wanted at times when they're not wanted, and people can do it at their leisure without asking permission to charge their cell phones. And my first suggestion would be near the metros, where they have those posts like the
Hmm.
U Street Cardoza post, etc., or where it could be like where they have those little signs that Jay was just talking about, or where they formerly used to have the little police safety um call boxes.
Yeah.
But the thing was to make it a solar powered charging point, where not only can it be the actual charging post, but it also can be a safety call box where someone can punch it for, to immediately alert the police that we need the police in that particular location, like you do on college campuses. I think that if we could have the ANC, um, I actually am writing up the resolution for that. But yes, something where you can do USB power, any kind of power station. It could be at bus stops, it could be at various places. But I think that we should have something like that, especially along our U Street corridors and all of our major corridors, just for public safety and then also in public spaces. I love the fact that you pulled that up for me. Thank you.
So as you were describing it, I was just thinking about the last time I was in New York and how I thought I had seen something that is basically what you're describing, and that's what Link NYC is. So that it acts as like an emergency phone, a Wi-Fi hotspot, a USB charger, and then I think a lot of them they have like maps or like public service announcements that come on the screen too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so potentially something like this. They could be, as part of the newly developed redeveloped Reeve Center, right? Like in the plaza. Like this would be
It,
perfect for a place
but
like that.
I can see this, and okay, stay right there on, and hey, can you pause that, or
Oh, it's
is this a?
moving. It's moving by itself.
Yes, I figured it was.
I do not know how to pause
Okay, don't
it.
worry about it. Just put the link in the chat.
Yeah,
Um, but the thing is this. I think that my proposal was for it throughout the city.
yeah,
And I was just thinking, they have all types of pilot programs for everything, but I thought ANC 1B would be the ideal spot to begin this. But I personally want it throughout the city.
yeah,
But I know that you all can only speak for your ANC. So I want to have support on this measure, because I think that it's really important. And so I'm asking ANC 1B to be a in partnership and support this. And so I it's a public space public safety resolution that will be, that I'm drafting for this. So I would love to have the support of this committee, and of course the support of the ANC on that.
Yeah, Karen, I think like once you have the draft, feel free to share it with the committee. And then when you feel it's ready, like one of our upcoming fall meetings, we could start talking about it.
Okay. I appreciate the thoughtfulness and I appreciate the forward thinking support of this. And I certainly hope that all my fellow committee members are welcoming this. And thank you very much for listening to me.
Great, thank you. Any other things? We can move on to the U Street Metro. It's kind of just another update. But I got a complaint from some neighbors in the Vermont Avenue U Street, that section, about if people remember, um, the entrance to the U Street Metro has been kind of under construction for a long time, and kind of under no construction for a long time. Like they started the construction and then it just sat there, but then construction's picked up. And there were recently some generators running and people had questions about it. So I reached out to WMATA and I have a picture of there might more work has maybe been done since this picture was taken, but just so people can see. Uh, so I reached out to WMATA to see what was going on, and so the generators shouldn't be there anymore. It was for like a temporary thing, and they are building the canopy. They're getting ready to put in more of like the glass blocks and things, and they're anticipating that like substantial completion for the canopy, which would include removing all the trusses and the fences and it standing on its own and normal access to the escalators and everything good like that, is October. So there's 2 months left of construction, but they said they're hoping to do a sign off and like a substantial completion in the middle of October, which would be great. I think the canopies have added a lot. And like for example, like the DuPont, that one is like the craziest, biggest canopy I think in the city, but it really does help with weather and I think it helps with the life of the escalators not getting wet all the time. And I think it is an improvement to them. So just a couple more months of this, and then I think the whole U Street, Eastern U Street, African American Civil War Museum entrance will be a lot better, and that plaza will be more enjoyable to be in without the construction. Any questions on that one?
Are they going to have a big reveal like they're going to do at DuPont?
I can ask about that. They should do a ribbon cutting. They should do a ribbon cutting for all of those. Um, I think that back at the beginning of Mayor Bowser's term, there used to be a ribbon cutting like every other day. They were cutting ribbons for all sorts of stuff. I don't know if they do that as much anymore.
Well, they did. They just did something the other day.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so that's that on updates. I think now we can turn it over to Zoe, who's been so patient.
Hi, everyone. I am once again talking to you about bags of dog poop in the side of trash cans.
Do you want to share your screen and
Yeah,
walk us through it? Yeah.
let me just figure out how. Um, I need to request, so I have something.
Oh, yes. Great.
And please bear with me. I don't, is there a place where we can get like the header and side thing that you put on resolutions so you don't
Um,
have to do it for us?
I'll just do it slash I might just send it. Sometimes I just send them to uh Secretary Fay and he does it.
Mhm.
Because he like I think secretly prefers that we send them without the headers and stuff because it's easier to format for him. But then sometimes I already have it in that format because I'm literally just saving a old resolution as a new resolution and deleting the content and putting it in. So this is fine. He'll do it.
Okay, cool. Can you guys see it?
I would just zoom in some, but we can see your screen now.
Cool. Yeah. So it's basically the same thing as we discussed last time, just with some additional language using the same language as the the bill that's been introduced at the council of what type of trash cans prevent this issue and also sort of the like other side effects and such from this issue. And yeah, like if there are any edits, I'd love to do them now in the moment and then maybe try to send this off.
Um, okay. So, okay, so kind of substantially similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like dog poop gap. That's funny. I in rodent resistance important. I feel like I don't have any additional comments. I think it highlights a specific issue. It suggests a couple things to resolve the issue. It's an issue that is gross and everyone hates and has to deal with in like every neighborhood where there are the trash cans.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it's a pertinent issue, and especially because like as I was saying before the call started, it's like hot rat summer where the rats have taken over the city and everyone wants someone to do something about the rats. So having any kind of resolution that talks about rats and maybe stresses to the city that that's what we're caring about because it's becoming even more of an issue than it has been before. I think it's good. So, I mean, I'm comfortable with sharing this with the ANC in September. If other people have other thoughts.
Good.
Yeah, thanks. I totally wholeheartedly agree with this, and I think we can go beyond the scope of ANC 1B and say citywide even, because it would be, if I'm not mistaken, it's all the same kind of trash can. So I assume the
Definitely.
city would want to do citywide rather than just ANC 1B or this ward. And then definitely also appreciate your point of placing dog waste bag dispensers. I have definitely been guilty of accidentally running out of poop bags and then my dog pooping and then me running home to grab a poop bag and coming back. So that would definitely just ease a lot of things. And I see a lot of
Yeah,
dog poop around anyway. So I hope that would
if
help deter.
if this is hot rat summer, this winter was dog poop winter of when the snow melted. It's horrible. Um, Matthew, on the 1B versus DC, like the whole district thing, what do you see as like the most useful? Like, do people pay more attention if we're just sticking within our scope, or is it better to talk about the whole
Um,
city?
so in the whereas clauses, we do say throughout the whole city, like District of Columbia, we say districts, waterways, district solutions, blah, blah, blah. In the first resolve clause, what do we say? We say add signage to trash cans in ANC 1B that advises. I mean, yeah, I mean, we would want it to be consistent across.
Right.
So I don't know if we say like, um, we could just say, let it therefore be resolved that just change we to ANC 1B. Like, oh, at the
Uh,
let it therefore be
oh,
resolved that ANC 1B requests. Um, yeah, and then add signage to public trash cans and just get rid of N, A, and C1B. And then that public trash cans that advise instead of advises, I guess.
totally.
I don't know. Trash cans
And
and
sign it. No,
advises.
it's signage advises. I'm gonna keep
Okay, okay, okay.
advises.
And then let it be further resolved that DPW issues a report to ANC1B. That's fine. they would
This
issue it
is
citywide, but we want it. We want a copy of it. So.
yeah.
And then I think that's fine too.
Okay. And then this last
Um,
one.
So, and let it be further resolved that DPW explore placing dog waste bag dispensers that have trash receptacles next to um some trash cans on residential blocks. Uh, maybe to next to some trans next to some trash cans on residential blocks or near residential blocks. We could get rid of ANC1B in this one, I think, maybe.
Okay. Um, Angela?
First, Zoe, thank you so much for doing this. This is a huge, huge issue because I step in this stuff all the time and I hate it so much. So thank you. I'm wondering if we could maybe also explore adding something about the frequency of the pickups, particularly
Yeah.
because at along Sherman Avenue and 13th and 14th Street, cans are over just they're filled all the time, and sometimes they go like a week and a half without being addressed. So like maybe something like uh we ask the exploration of more frequent pickup schedules in ANC1B, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. We could maybe say, yeah, increase the frequency of collection from public trash cans. Um, we could say, because Angela, what did you say? Sherman and 14th were two examples.
Yeah, maybe like high traffic or high volume or something like that. Your
Yeah,
main thoroughways or something. Just to note that on places like Sherman, where there's people, people walk foot traffic,
with high,
the
I think with high pedestrian traffic,
right, yeah.
um,
I
public
mean,
trash cans in areas with high pedestrian traffic, and then use
Oh,
14th Street and Sherman as examples. So that way we're saying a thing that is a citywide issue, but we're localizing it on two corridors that we're familiar with.
can you guys help me out on if is it Sherman
Avenue.
Avenue.
Avenue?
Yeah.
The one by
Okay.
Jenny's is always disgusting.
Always, always.
The one up here at 11th and Euclid seems to also not get picked up. I would not call this area a particularly high traffic corridor, but even then it is not getting picked up frequently enough. And I think, frankly, part of the problem, and I think you kind of get into this, is that the, even though they're open top, the opening isn't big enough. And so when
Mm.
people try to stick something in there, it like gets stuck at the top and then it just clogged, so more than full. But because they don't pick them up often enough, it leads to the same result.
Do you want to add something about the tops
I
anywhere?
think,
Because
I mean, the fact, the suggestion in the next clause about alternative trash cans,
yeah.
um, maybe, the dog poop gap issue and other issues that lead to overflowing and litter spreading on the street.
Hmm.
Anything else?
Um, for the second resolved, I wonder if maybe, and this might also help it be more similar to the other one, be resolved that ANC1B requests DPW report on which trash cans get the most requests.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and I can add that down here too. Anything else, guys?
I think it's good. I think we
Awesome.
would just thinking about in the future, this is like to Karen's point about following up on these and like sharing how the agencies are responding. Um it will be interesting to see what they say about this one and then what we can do post resolution to like see
Mhm.
if they actually like hold up any of this or things get better or whatever.
Totally.
Also, I'm afraid of mentioning this, but it also feels like the district's solution to overflowing trash cans frequently is to remove them.
Yep.
And so needing to avoid triggering that unnecessarily. I know that I have on occasion hesitated to report to 311 trash cans that were overflowing because uh I want it to get picked up, but I also want it to stay there.
Right.
To that effect, Jay, one of the things that we addressed directly with the city council was to they have to give us the citizens, a some let us know specifically when they're removing the trash cans and when they're replacing the trash cans. So this was just legislation that we had before the Public Works Committee just last month, and so this particular request that Zoe is mentioning certainly I think was part of some of the testimony. So it's really helpful to have this be reinforced as by the ANC.
Great. Um, cool. Well, there's no more comments or edits. Zoe, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I move that we send this to the full ANC.
Second.
Great.
Second.
Okay, so Zoe moves. Think Jay seconded. I didn't see, but that's what it sounded like. All those in favor of the trash can resolution as edited this evening, please say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Great. Um, thanks, Zoe, for writing this and bringing
Great
it back
job,
up.
Zoe.
Guys, this was
And thanks,
fun.
thanks everyone else for
Clap,
your good
clap, clap.
suggestions. Okay, so then the next one on this is I will get this on the agenda for the September meeting. And then I anticipate it will pass because I think everyone else will see that this is, or everyone else knows that this is a big issue. So thanks, everybody. Any final thoughts this evening? Great. Well, see you in September, um, where we will talk about some of the things we talked about earlier today. We'll see. I'll send you an agenda. If you think of specific stuff that you definitely want to talk about in September, of course, shoot me an email. And see you then. Have a good month.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.